everybody, welcome back. This is Miss Faye and this is my world. Today's topic is when he's too affectionate, way too fast, what's to do? Before we get started, I want to say welcome. Welcome to the channel. Welcome to all the new viewers, the new subscribers, and welcome to you who have been with me from the beginning. I really appreciate you. Now to get us started, I did pull a video. Let's watch this short video and we have a letter. And then we're going to talk about this subject. Okay, here we go.
Here's a little secret. Men are usually the ones who are pacing. They're slowing things down. But if you are able to actually control the pace and slow things down with a guy and move slower than he wants to slow, you are in control of the process. This is what high-value women do. They don't just jump in and invest all of their emotional energy, their time, their resources into a man that they've just met. No! They want to take time to get to know that guy, see if there's an actual fit. And by the way, until you are in an exclusive committed relationship with that guy, then you are by all means still single. That means you can continue to get out there and meet other people, you can continue to get there and flirt, you can continue to get out there and go on dates with other guys. Now, with that said, this sometimes makes guys go a little bonkers. When a woman is pacing things and slowing things down, it can make guys want to speed things up even faster.
Okay, let's dive into this letter and see what she says. She addresses the letter, First Date. I recently went on a first date with a man whom I had met a couple of weeks prior at the mall. We met randomly at a bookstore where he approached me, told me he thought I was pretty, and continued to chat me up. He asked if I'd like to have coffee with him sometime and asked for my phone number. He had positive energy, seemed genuine, respectful, and charming. I appreciated that he was bold and straightforward enough to approach and ask me out like that. I've had many negative experiences with online dating, and I was intentionally in the process of breaking away from that and doing my inner work, so this experience at the mall was very uplifting and refreshing. I know when a new fella approaches you, it can be exciting, that he's paying you some attention and telling you that you're pretty and giving you those compliments. It does make you feel good. He texted for a number of days and things continued to feel good. He then asked me out, not to coffee, but to dinner and a show. He asked about my food preferences and happened to suggest we go to my favorite restaurant. I met him there and we had a nice dinner. He was very thoughtful, sweet, and pleasant. He paid for dinner and then we walked to the theater and watched the show that he purchased tickets for in advance. I appreciated that he checked in with me a few times to make sure I was comfortable and enjoying myself. Well, he sounds like a nice guy up to now. Even though I wasn't initially physically attracted, the other aspects of him, his personality, his life, and his chivalry were very attractive. And I was open to getting to know him and seeing what would develop. Okay, so you're not attracted to him physically, but he has a nice personality and he seems to treat you well on this first date. Okay, and he didn't do anything offensive in the text messages that he sent you. Okay. After the show, he walked me to my car And this is where things went sideways for me. He initiated a hug, which was nice at first. However, I noticed it lingered on a bit longer than was comfortable. And then while he had me embraced quite tightly in his arms, he leaned in and kissed me. And this kissing continued on and on. I just stood there, locked in place. Why did you stay? Why? Why? Were you shocked? It was awful. I felt forced. I wasn't able to end it at first. I felt trapped with the way he was holding me and kissing me. I was eventually able to pull my head back enough for him to stop. I was completely stunned and grossed out and just automatically tried to play it cool and pleasantly say goodbye. This is where you should have set him straight. You should not have played it cool. You should have been clear with him that you're going way too fast. And when he tried to kiss you and hug you, they thought you should have broke away. No, we're not going to go this fast. All right, let's take it slow. That was your time to be clear with him and set a boundary. You see, many times, we're hesitant to set boundaries because we don't want to offend people. You may have felt obligated to hug him, to allow him to kiss you because he took you on a very nice date. But ladies, you are not obligated for a man to pursue you. If he wants you, that's what he has to do. Pursue you. But you can put the brakes on. You don't have to go with his program at all. And this puts you in charge of your situation. When you speak up, when you use your voice, when you are clear and you set boundaries. You should have told him right there, no, hold up, let's take this slow. And then, hey, it would have been different. But because you went along with the program, now you're feeling some sort of way. I got in my car and almost cried and felt disgusted and violated and so disappointed that a lovely night ended that way. Well, it didn't have to end that way. It really didn't. You could have set this man straight. And he really didn't sound like he was a crazy lunatic from your letter. Probably if you had done that, he would have respected you more because you stood for yourself. You respected yourself. And you don't allow people to hug you and kiss you like that on the first date. You understand, people? You don't want him to get the wrong impression. Now, men would try you every kind of way. Whether they're good men or not. They'll try you to see how far they can go with you. But it's really up to you to set these boundaries and let them know, no, I'm not going there at all. This makes me, you didn't even have to go that far to where you needed to tell him, I'm uncomfortable. You should have stopped him when the hug got too tight. Right there. So now, since you didn't say anything, I doubt it if he knows that you're upset about what happened. He probably ends all of his dates like that if he really likes the woman. He was showing you that he really liked you. That's why he hugged you tight and he kissed you. And he really was showing you some affection. But you didn't want that. It was too quick for you. It was too quick. But it was up to you to set the boundary, not him. You can't blame him for what he did. You have to look at yourself. You got to love yourself enough to say no. No, not yet. I want to know you better. Let's spend some more time to get to know each other before we go there, before we get physical. You could have said a lot of things to stop him. Okay? But in hindsight, in the future, speak up for yourself, ladies. Don't allow these things to happen to you. And now you feel disgusted, and it puts you back into your comfort zone. You see, it may make you fearful about going out again, especially with him. Because if he kissed you this way on the first date, it's not going to be long to where he's going to want to hit it. He's going to want sex. You see? Because that's what men want anyway. Sex. But ladies, it's up to you. To love yourself enough. Respect yourself enough to put your foot down. Now, I realize that maybe you are more of an introverted person. A shy person. You see? But you need to be extroverted. Because it's the extroverted person that gets the respect. Many introverted people get taken advantage of because they don't speak up for themselves. They hate to say no. They are people pleasers, and people just run all over them. You don't want that. You see, you want to be respected. So this was your first date. Let's see what else you say happened here. How could I have avoided having my boundary crossed like that? You never set a boundary. That's why it was crossed. He didn't know that was your boundary. You didn't say anything. Men don't assume that you have a boundary because some women don't. It's some women that he could have taken out and done the same thing with, and they would have been all in. You see, he's trying to feel you out to see what type of woman you are. This was your first date. You see? So now he feels like, you know, if he didn't realize that you were upset about it, he may feel like you're just okay with it. Should I have seen that coming? Not necessarily saw it coming because, you know, some men on the first date, they'll give you just a peck on the cheek good night or something like that. Okay? But this man may be highly sexual the way he grabbed you and all, you know, all like that. Trying to see if you're that type. Because men want sex. You know, some men are smoother with their approach. And some men are just overt with their approach. Okay? Now, with you not being physically attracted to this man, probably made this experience even more disgusting. But like I said, it's up to you. You could have stopped this dead in its tracks without offending him. You see? When he gave you that hug, then you said, oh, very nice, you know. I'll see you next time. Just broke away from it. You know? And if you couldn't get away from the bear hug, all you had to do was say, no, I don't want to, you know, let's take it slow. Men know what that means. Let's take it slow. And he would have released you. Okay? But ladies, you have to set the boundary. Don't wait until these things happen and then say the man overstepped your boundary when you never set one. You understand? Okay. Is kissing on a first date after a man has treated a lady to such a nice evening to be expected? No, it's not to be expected. I've been on first dates where the man didn't touch me at all. You know? I say, well, good night. Or they may give you a light hug, good night, and go on about their business. I've been on first dates where the man will give you a hug and maybe kiss you on the cheek. Good night. And it's very pleasant. But You know, from reading your letter, did you just go out with this man because you were excited that he paid some attention to you? Because I remember that you said you weren't physically attracted to him. If you weren't physically attracted to him, then maybe you just wanted to go out. And so when he touched you, that's why you got disgusted. You didn't want his hands on you. And you definitely didn't want him kissing you, but you could have stopped it. Okay? I felt like too much, too soon from him to kiss me like that and to assume that it was okay with me. You never told him it wasn't okay. Men would try you. All men would try you in some way or another. But you got to speak up for yourself. You got to love yourself enough to speak up for yourself and know your value. You see, when you go out on these dates and you know your worth, you know you don't need him, you see, for anything. You actually love yourself and you take care of yourself. You go out on these dates, and if anybody does anything that you disagree with, you tell them. You set them straight right there. Listen, I'm celibate. I'm not interested in, or if you are celibate, I believe in telling them on the first date. But if you're not, when a man makes an advance, if you don't want it, it's best to stop him right there. Just stop him. Stop him and say, let's take it slow. Men understand that when you tell them that. Okay? Because it doesn't mean no. It just means that not now. Let's take it slow. Okay? We had barely made much physical contact before that, besides a handshake at the mall and a quick little hug upon greeting at the restaurant. There you go. Am I making a big deal of nothing? Kinda. I think you're kind of making a big deal of it. You see? Because he didn't try to rape you. He just tried to get a little intimacy. That's all he tried to do. And you weren't ready for that. You didn't even like him like that. You know, that's why you were disgusted and cried, because this man that you weren't physically attracted to put his hands on you. But you kind of put yourself in that situation. I tell you why. Because now you have to think about it. Why did you go out with this man in the first place? Was it because you were excited that he paid some attention to you and you enjoyed him texting you, and because he seemed pleasant, you thought you could get to know him better? Did you go on a date to see whether you wanted to date him further, or did you go on the date because you were bored and it was something to do? Or did you go on the date because you just wanted to make a new friend? What was your intent for going on the date? I think he made it pretty obvious why he went on the date. He told you at the mall that you were pretty, which means that he wanted to get to know you better. And when men say they want to get to know you better, some men want to get to know you better fast. Some men will take it slow. Apparently his way was to get to know you fast. He figured that he went out, and this is a man's mentality, a lot of them. He went out, took you to the restaurant of your choice for a nice dinner, and took you to the movies. And he figured that he would get him a hug and a kiss. Okay? You could have just slowed it down. And everything would have been cool. Just slowed it down. You see? So, no, I don't blame the man. But I think that you should have been more assertive in the beginning, and you could have stopped that. Okay. He's asking me out again. and I don't know how to navigate what happened and where to go from here. Okay, this is what you do. Okay? He asked you out again. All right? So now just tell him, if you want to go out with him again, now make sure what your intention is, because this man likes you. He's interested in you. But in the back of his mind, he's thinking sex. Okay? All men are. So don't think it's just this man. But if you are not physically attracted to the man, I don't think you should date him. I don't think you should date him. Let him go. If you're not physically attracted, what are you thinking is going to happen? That eventually you will like him? Now, if you're the type of person that it's not, you don't like him right off, but eventually it could grow on you, just tell the man that you really had a nice time on the date, but you want to take it slow. You don't want to go too fast. Okay? You want to get to know him better before you try to get physical. You can talk to him like that. Man can understand it. You understand? And then you can feel him out to see where he's trying to go with it. But have the conversation before the next date. And that'll clear up a lot. Just tell him. But tell him in a nice way that you don't offend him. Just make it a joking way. I'd like to take it slow. Now, if you just want to be friends with him, that's what you tell him. I just want to be friends. Now, being friends could mean a number of things. Men take it friends with benefits. You don't want that. You don't want that. If you want to see him again, just tell him, let's take it slow. I want to take it slow. And then see if he still wants to take you out. Because if he does, then he may be really interested in you. Really interested. And the only reason that he kissed you and hugged you that way, he wanted to show you in his way how interested he was in you. Okay? So, don't be disgusted and offended, by this. But you got to speak up. You got to speak up for yourself. And don't be defensive with him. There's no need to be defensive because he did not overstep your boundary. You never set one. You can't assume that people know they can read your mind. They can't. They can't read your mind. He may have been with a woman who criticized him for not being so aggressive or being affectionate. You never know where people are coming from until you communicate with them. Communication is the key to these relationships. And a lot of us, we make assumptions about other people's intention and we really don't know what's going on with them. And they don't know what's going on with you. Why he took you on the date. To try to find out more about you. Okay? Just tell him you want to take it slow. And that should do it. You see, when you speak up for yourself in these situations, you get more respect. You get more respect. But know what your true intention is. Okay? A man is not going to just take you out and wine you and dine you and you don't care anything about him. He's not going to do it. You see? But if you feel like something could develop between you and this man, and maybe you do, because you mentioned in the letter that he asked you out again. He had a great time on the date. And you did too, until he got too affectionate. So, now that you know what to do, just speak up, communicate with him, and say, you would like to take it slow. And see where it goes from there. All right. If he backs away and says, okay, well, I'll call you another time, let it go. Let it go. Then you know he was only after sex. See, you got to be able to read these men. Read them. When you set your boundary with a man, if he walks away or gets angry, he's not for you. You got to guard yourself and walk away and let it go, because you want to protect your own energy. You want to be happy. Okay? And you say you have stepped away from online dating, and that was a good thing, because it's only predators online dating. But you also need to be careful about people you meet on the street too. They the same people. The same people online is the same people you meet on the street. Just take your time with them. Take your time. But know what you want in your life and don't settle. Okay? If you're not attracted to a man just because he asks you out, don't go with him. Don't go. Say no. But if you feel like something can happen, do like it did. Go on the date. Have a nice time. But if something happens on the date that you disagree with, stop it. Speak up. Speak your voice. And then everybody will be clear and on the same page. I hope that you understand the message today. And I hope that it really helps someone. Ladies, love yourself. Value yourself and know your value. Speak with confidence. Be a strong, independent woman and show it. Show it. Show your power. Show who you really are and be authentic with it. And be clear with these people. And this will save you from a lot of heartbreak. I hope that you understand the message today, and I really hope that it helps someone. Now, those of you who have questions that you would like for me to answer, my email address is in the description. And also those who are looking for your affirmations and your movement for today, also the link is in the description. Thank you so much for supporting this channel. I thank you for your comments and your letters, and a special thank you to those that leave a donation. I really appreciate all of you. I wish you all the very best, and I really hope to see you next time.